welcome everyone to another episode of the Adeptus Ridiculous podcast. My name is DK Diamantes, and I guess you can't really call me a Warhammer beginner anymore. I mean, I'm not super advanced, but Bricky has been doing a fantastic job of teaching me all of the crazy, ridiculous Warhammer 40k things. And that's what this podcast is all about, learning the ridiculous stuff. So if you enjoyed today's podcast, be sure to head on over to patreon.com/AdeptusRidiculous, where you can get access to our Discord, digital HD posters, bloopers, if they happen, which, thank God, they haven't happened too often. So yeah, if you enjoy today's podcast, be sure to head on over to Adeptus Ridiculous, or patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous, almost did a blooper, and yeah, support the podcast.
I love how you say that it's like we don't have many bloopers, but that's kind of the only reason is because we force Shy at threat of death to put us rambling about anime into the episode of the All Guardsmen Party for like 20 minutes.
It was a good anime. It was not a good anime discussion. We're sober though now. We can look back on it and laugh and be like, wow, that was dumb.
Which, actually, speaking of, the next major goal we have for our Patreon is 7,000. And we said that at that point, we would continue to read the All Guardsmen Party. However, not horribly drunk. Maybe a nice drink here or there, but actually read the goddamn thing.
Yes.
Because I didn't realize how popular that was. It's a very popular, write-up.
Really?
It's very popular.
Oh, okay.
Because of that, I think, okay, we did a little bit of a disservice by getting horribly drunk and me just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna go eat a cookie. So
I will be honest with you, I didn't even realize you were eating a cookie there. I knew you were eating something, but
do you even remember much of that?
A little bit. I remember a little bit.
A little bit is all that's needed.
I know I drank a fourth of a bottle of whiskey. So that was fun. My favorite comments on that video, though, were like, wow, you guys got drunk way too fast. You guys can't even handle your alcohol. And I was like, I'm going to take that as a compliment. I'm not enough of a slovenly drunk to be like, yeah, fucking, it took me 3 hours to get drunk. I'm a lightweight.
I had a weeaboo cup full with 7 shots. As far as I'm concerned, I was completely in the right. Though I do want to make a quick announcement before we get too into it. Because I seem to be like, I always have a merch announcements. As for the merchandise, it is still good. I happen to buy enough, so we are not fully sold out. We did sell quite a bit, but we still have some. So if you like any of my shirts, I guess it's our shirts. These shirts. And the hoodies, you can go check it out over in the description or at the Orchid 8 on the content creator section for Adeptus Ridiculous. Also, the Doge Van Dyer merch that we spoke so much about is now becoming a thing. We have decided to go for 3 separate Doge Van Dyer stickers because they're a little bit easier and because it's a lot easier to design. But those are actually coming really soon. In fact, probably next week. So in the next week's episode, we will be able to advertise them and show you all the stickers we've been working on. But, DK?
Yeah.
This is part 2.
Part 2.
Of the 3-part Fall of Cadia series, the preludes. And last week, we discussed Chad Horus and the Luna Wolves, which ended up being way less than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, because it's all about Horus. It's not so much the Luna Wolves. Like they're fine and everything, but it's about Horus and what Horus would go on to do, and how don't the Luna Wolves essentially sort of become the Black Legion because they follow Horus, they follow his exploits, and then bleh.
It's a fine way to put it, something like that. Yeah. Overall, it does become the Black Legion, which we'll talk a lot more about today, because today we're talking about Abaddon. And I'm going to call him Abaddon. So we like to call him Abaddon. I call him Abaddon. I just don't care.
See, in my head, I was like, when we talk about this, I'm probably going to be switching between Abaddon and Abaddon, because I'll be like, oh yeah, the Warhammer paint is always called Abaddon Black, but in my head, it's always been Abaddon, so I'm sure as we talk about it today, it's just going to be back and forth. So if anybody's listening to this, that's why. That's why.
Wait, Wait, what do you mean if anyone's listening to this? I'm hoping they're listening to this.
Oh, I meant if anybody is concerned and listening to this. I left that part out. Whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But I am anxious to learn about Abaddon. I had to stop there and think, which way am I going to say it? Because I've only heard memes about him. I've only heard about how he's a giant loser, which always makes Shy mad whenever she hears someone say that Abaddon is just a big loser. And I think I've also heard, I think it was from you told me that his mini is notorious for like the arms fall off or something, because it's like it's an old mini, and like that's one of the meme things that's in Trazen's gallery is Abaddon's arms. But that's all I know about him. So I'm actually anxious to see if like the memes are accurate or if it's just literal shit memes for shit's sake.
So it's a little bit of both. Now Abby, as is an easier way to put it, I suppose, a good old Abby Abaddon, or by his first name, his name is Isekyle, or we just call him fucking Kyle if you feel like it. If you want to call him Kyle, we can call him Kyle. I thought his name was Ezekiel at first, but that seemed too on the nose. So Isekyle or Kyle. I think if we call him Kyle, people will be significantly angrier.
This is gonna be my one meme moment, my one anime meme moment, because his name sounds like Isekai. And
that's
is he getting reborn in like a new world? Is he getting?
What does Isekai even mean?
It's essentially it's reborn in a new world. So like you know how in Sword Art he goes into the VR place and he's reborn as like a medieval knight and he's super strong. It's whoa. You know, like when they get hit by a. When they get hit by a truck, and then they're oh my god, I've been reborn in a fantasy RPG.
What the fuck? And also, what makes you think I've watched fucking Sword Art?
It's pretty garbage anyway. So it's better that.
Oh my god. Okay, so his name is Kyle. And anyway, so Abaddon Kyle. So the memes are half correct, half wrong. Okay. So in the sense, Abaddon is actually pretty cool. He's got a pretty interesting backstory. He's an interesting character. I like his ideas, a whole thing. He's pretty cool. The issue is that I think he was kind of his old model did have his arms fall off a lot, or there are a lot of problems with that. Yes, that is true. Okay. But more specifically, the big issue with Abaddon is that a lot of his crusades, a lot of his fighting, ended up having him always lose, because for the longest time GW was like, Chaos are the bad guys, Imperium are the good guys, we gotta make them win every battle against the bad guys.
Oh, okay.
So in a sense it feels like he doesn't really get anything done, but that's not true either, because he kind of does.
Yeah.
But it's always in this, that, the other thing. But anyway, let me go ahead and go into it, and then you can form your own opinion.
Let's do it.
So, good old Kyle was a Luna Wolves Astarte, of course. Mm-hmm. He was a firstborn son of a Sithonian, which, if you remember, Sithonia was the planet they came from.
Mm-hmm. Mad Max Tech.
Yep, techno-barbarian. Mm-hmm. He was the firstborn son of a gang warlord of that planet. And he killed his father, actually, in 1v1 combat at a very young age, after like a coming-of-age ritual went just very badly wrong. I don't know what the fuck coming of age ritual will end with you shanking your dad, but a Mortarion is obviously very jealous.
Oh, so jealous. He actually got to Mortarion just sitting in a corner, very depressed, like, oh, I wanted to kill my dad.
I want to kill my dad. It smells in here.
What's that smell?
It's me. Oh. So he was trained and rose in the Luna Wolves for a bit, and he became first captain, which is, of course, pretty good little thing there. However, what's interesting about Abaddon, at least from a more of a tabletop style, is that he was actually one of the few of like the major characters I can think of that was actually had his own Terminator armor crafted for him. Now, Terminators, have we covered Terminators?
I know they've been brought up a couple times. I have seen Terminator armor, but I'm not sure we've gone into like super detail about Terminator armor.
It's just bigger, better armor. It's really big, bulky, nigh indestructible armor. It's very large. As opposed to the regular Astartes. But the Terminators, they move slow. They tend to like teleport instead, and they tend to carry like big hammers or like wrist-mounted guns. They're just giant tanky sons of bitches. But because of that, he was actually, in fact, so good at his job. He was basically the military standard for the whole first company. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Space Marine Legions and chapters or whatever, the first company is almost always comprised of Terminators. I think it's like the Terminator company. I think it's that way because I know in the tabletop there's an ability to give all your Terminators an increase to hit called Fury of the First, and I'm assuming it's the first company. Right. But Abaddon was like the right-hand man of Horus. Like he was the man, obviously.
Mm-hmm. So do you have to be super special to like get Terminator armor? Like, do you have to be like proven in combat? Do you have to be like a super serious, super important person, or is it just like, yeah, sure, you get Terminator armor and you get Terminator armor, and look under your seats, it's Terminator armor for everyone? I think you
definitely need to be like proving yourself to an extent to eventually become a Terminator. But Terminator armor is just like a variation. It's no different than, okay, are you going to be an infantryman in the army, or are you going to be like a tank gunner? It's just like a different.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just like a different thing to do. I do think you need to be more skilled for Terminator armor, so I think they do pick people who are of a higher skill. But it's not like the difference between that and being like a sergeant or a captain or a lieutenant. It's nothing that high.
Because I was thinking, if it's like invincible armor, it's like, well, maybe we should give that to like the captains and the sergeants and the important guys, because it's like, not invincible armor. Like,
I mean, you can like take in game like a captain in normal armor or a captain in Terminator armor if you want. Like, it's definitely important. Specifically, the fact they can't fucking make it because it's one of those things that was lost to time and the AdMech don't create.
It's one of those situations.
Yeah. So it's important, and obviously they put well-trained people in Terminator armor, but I don't think I know a whole lot about like the Terminator armor, because it's not really something that's heavily like, oh my god, Terminator armor, it involves this, and this, and they only get people who can do a triple cartwheel at a perfect 10. Like, I don't know, man. It's big, chunky, tanky armor.
Imagine being like, yeah, I can do triple cartwheels, and then they put you in the fucking Terminator armor and you just can't move, and it's like, why?
It's because doing a triple cartwheel is like moving your legs in general in Terminator armor. Anyway, he was the greatest warrior of the Luna Wolves, obviously in a chapter famed for its really good warriors.
Yeah. And
he was just like devout to Horus, as Horus was devout to the Emperor. It was like just another layer of that sheer, I don't want to say worship, because worship bad, but now Horus had a specific group of advisors that he trusted, like with utmost modesty and extreme honesty. And these advisors were known as the Mournival. And the Mournival consisted of 4 people: Garviel Loken, Tarek Torgadon, Horus Aximand, also known as Little Horus. His name was actually Little Horus. Yes, because he looked like a little version of Horus.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, he looked like a little Horus. He's actually kind of cool, but he's a little Horus. And then, of course, Abaddon himself.
Right.
This was his close Mournival, and Horus would go to them constantly for help and advice as advisors. Like, Horus, as smart as he was not like too prideful to not have a group of people that he really trusted in their ideas. He was also, Abaddon was part of a really interesting secret warrior lodge, which a small amount of Astartes eventually became a part of. And the idea originally was founded by this guy. Oh, fuck, what's his name? Starts with an E, ends in sus.
Is it Erebus?
Eresus, there it is.
Oh, no, please. The fucking Among Us memes, man.
Oh,
you know how many of those popped up on Twitter?
I was so happy, dude. They made, some guy gave me Eresus. They gave me the Horse Sus heresy. It was great. I'm so proud. Anyway, yes, of course, as you remember, Erebus created the warrior lodges, which were like the secret organization of Astartes that would meet together and eventually started leading to, chaos problems and all that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
However, in the beginning, it was pretty not that. They were kind of just doing their secret stuff, but it wasn't quite like horribly chaos based. However, the one thing that was particularly interesting is that Abaddon, after Horus got shanked by that fancy pantsy sword, was the one who actually took Horus's body to the Were-Bearers and Erebus to get himself healed, of course.
Oh, okay.
And like during the whole transformation and everything, like Abaddon was so fiercely loyal to Horus that he's like, you know what? My dad's bad, Abaddon. We gotta go get him. And Horus like, sir, yes, sir. Okay, I'm going. Let's go. Like he was just so fiercely loyal. He didn't need any convincing.
With the way everything turns out, I would have guessed that Abaddon was like not that fiercely loyal and was kind of like one of those douchebag advisor types that was just waiting in the wings, being like, "Ooh, he's gonna fuck up at some point, and when he does, ooh, this legion is mine." And you know,
I thought he was at first, because everyone had their version of Erebus. You had Fabius Bile, you had Typhus, and of course Erebus himself. But I was thinking, was there any of them that was like the Black, or I guess the Sons of Horus at this point, version of Erebus? And Abaddon, not really. I think that it's more the idea that there was always that first captain or underling that was important compared to the Primarch. But even so, I mean, their Primarch's dead, so whatever.
Yeah, their Primarch is dead.
But Abaddon particularly was obviously fiercely loyal to Horus. Fiercely loyal. And anything that Horus wanted to do, he was like, sure, ma'am. He actually, during the heresy, led his Terminator company through most of the battles, including the Drop Site Massacre. Like, he himself battered the fuck out of some salamanders and Iron Hands.
Ooh,
that's
a pretty big deal.
He was in the front. He was like smacking people.
Yeah, he wasn't hiding behind being a command. He was in there. He was getting blood on his hands. He was
nutty.
Fucking Chad.
Now, of course, heresy happened. We know the heresy. I don't need to go too far into it. However, a reminder that the big fight between the Emperor Sanguinius and Horus was located on the Vengeful Spirit, which was Horus's flagship. During this time, Abaddon specifically knew that there was fighting in the bridge, and he was fighting his way to the command bridge from the Vengeful Spirit, just like slaughtering Imperial Fist squads and all these people. He's just like making a beeline for the bridge as fast as he possibly could.
Right.
But naturally,
so he was trying to get there and help Horus and make sure that, like, he killed the Emperor, or he didn't get, that he was he was really going for it.
Oh, he was schmoving. He was in the main command bridge, and he was like, shit, and he was just like plowing through fucking Space Marines trying to make his way to Horus.
Damn.
Of course, he didn't make it in time. And when he arrived, Horus was there, dead as fuck. Emperor was gone. Everyone was gone, except for Sanguinius. I don't know if they recovered Sanguinius' body. I don't remember. Not important. We'll talk about when we talk about them. They probably did, but we'll talk about when we talk about Blood Angels. Point being, he got there. And with Horus's like body in his arms, he detached Horus's giant taloned hand that you always see in that picture. And he swore that he would use Horus's talon to strangle the Emperor with it.
Oh, is that why Abaddon has that claw? That's actually Horus's.
That is Horus's claw.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's called the Talon of Horus.
As well it should be.
Yes.
As well it should be.
It is a very, very cool looking, like weapon. And if I'm not mistaken, in the actual data sheet for Abaddon himself, it's pretty fucking strong. I just looked at the data sheet. It's okay.
It's all right. Yeah.
They need a codex update. When he gets the codex update, it'll be very scary.
Yeah. It'll be okay to roll Black Legion when the codex update.
Yes, it'll be much easier.
Happens. Yeah.
Anyway, point being, Talon of Horus. Yeah, he has it himself. But after that came, of course, the Horus happened, all that stuff, and then came the Great Scouring, which was the event in which all of the good. The fuck word am I looking for? The loyalist legions went out and just scoured the galaxy for traitors, right? Which is why all of them fled into the warp, into the Eye of Terror. because then the Chaos Gods were like, well, thanks guys, we appreciate it, and they all dipped, and then they all were like, oh shit, and they had to find a way to deal with the Imperials just hot on their tails.
Oof.
And so of course they goofed bad. They did a galactic goof. God damn it! You know what happens right after Horus made his way to the flagship? He saw Horus's body, and he was like, "Fuck!" And then he looked to the corner, and then immediately there he saw Rogol Dorn and Jagatai Khan immediately venting.
Oh. Of course, it all comes back to Among Us, sus venting. I am looking forward to seeing what Shy does with this.
It's just gonna be that picture of that person upsettingly looking at their phone, like Walter White staring at his phone. He's just like, "What the fuck?
What happened? What have I become?"
It's just gonna be an image of a 12 gauge. Anyway, so after they all vented into the warp, basically the main thing that happened. Nothing.
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Good. Okay, excellent. They returned to the Eye of Terror.
Just keep going.
And Abaddon then, now under the command of the Vengeful Spirit flagship himself, he fucking bailed.
Yes. As well he probably should.
No, he left his legion.
Oh! I thought you meant he and the Legion just got out of Dodge. Like, they were like, well, fuck, we got to
Oh, they did. They ran into the Eye of Terror, and he took his ship, and he left.
Oh.
He was so tired between the death of his Primarch, who he deemed was basically his father, through the insane losses, through the sheer feeling of failure, and the absolute sickness of war. He was just, like, exhausted. And the other 9 Chaos Legions were fighting each other. They were bickering and at each other's throats. Mm-hmm. And they were fighting each other over, like, scraps, infighting. And he just thought he should let them. Like, why bother?
It's true.
Maybe if I leave, my Legion will earn themselves a decent death. Oh. And because why be reduced to squabbles over this? Like they were this close to toppling the Empire, the Imperium, and killing the Emperor. And now look at them. They're punching each other like orcs.
Yeah, they've been reduced to squabbling like pigeons for scraps.
Yes, and he was disgusted by them, and he said, "Fuck," and he was like, "Fuck them, fuck this, I'm done." And he left, and he took his ship with him, and he went to 1,000 worlds, and he stood on every planet to learn each and every reach of the warp and its realm, to learn about the warp, learn about the Immaterium. And the Sons of Horus themselves, back on their planet, they stagnated. Some wanted them to refill their troops, to get more people. Some wanted to embrace the warp and use the warp as assistance to help them ascend and become more powerful. And then Emperor's children were like, "Hey, give me that.
Yoink.
Give me your horse. I'm taking your horse."
Oh, poor Horus. Can't even get a good burial.
Can't even have a good tomb. Emperor's children are such fucking trolls.
I kind of love the Emperor's children. The more I hear about them, the more I'm like, oh man, these guys are douchebags. But it's just the greatest kind. Like the name, the battle cry, just being massive. I'm kind of digging the Emperor's children.
You feel it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. As long as you feel it, that's all that matters.
Yep, I'm really feeling it.
I'm really feeling it, Mr. Krabs. So after that, after the stagnation and the infighting and Horus being stolen by the Emperor's children to have Fabius Bile try to make a clone, they were like, "Okay, this is bad. We need to find Abaddon." So
we need our leader back.
So a couple people got together. One of the biggest ones is a guy named is his name actually Phallus?
Wow.
Wait, no way. I have it written down as Phallus.
The brother of Big Dickus.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Wait, no way. No way.
The disbelief.
Holy okay. The search for Abaddon. No. Falcus Falkus. I had it written down as Fallus. I think I missed.
okay.
I think I had a typo.
Falkus is a little better. He was probably still bullied a lot, but it's better than Phallus. That's definitely... Yeah.
It's way better than Phallus.
Yeah, way... Oh, boy.
Falkus Kibra, or Kibre. He was basically a chieftain of a warband. And also, he met with other former commanders. A Thousand-Sun sorcerer named Iskandar Kayon, and another guy named Lior Vine. What the fuck? Basically, guy from World Eaters.
Okay.
Point
so
being,
he met up with a Thousand Suns dude and a World Eaters dude.
The point being is that they met with people from various other legions.
Okay.
And they were trying to figure out how the hell to find Abaddon, because not only do they need to find him, but they need to find him in the warp where time doesn't exist.
Oh.
And so life is really hard trying to find him in the Immaterium. So as they were figuring things out, they actually got a buddy, a psyker named Sargon from the Word Bearers. And Sargon was like, I have the unlimited knowledge and I know where Abaddon is. And
is he Italian?
Was that Italian?
Kind of sounded Italian. Like
hey, I know what Abaddon is. Hey, give me a pizza party. Hey.
What? He's not the Fonz, man. Hey, I know where Abaddon is. It's cool, man. Hey.
What?
I'm doing the thumb thing, because if you ever do a Fonz, you gotta do the thumbs, right? Hey, Abaddon.
All right. So I told you before the podcast, but obviously I've been because I finished the book club.
The book club.
Yeah. We're doing book club. Read the book, Infinite Divine. Super great. I finished it. Great book. We're talking about it in June. But we'll mention that earlier in the next episode. But I'm reading the Night Lords one now. Soul Drinker, I think is what it's called, or Soul Hunter. Mm-hmm. And I think it's Soul Hunter. And because I told you earlier, they all talk in like the narrator has them doing like these thick, like Eastern European, Russian, whatever Slavic accents, like
because Dracula, vampires,
because vampire-y, you know. Mm-hmm. I don't know the difference between a Romanian accent and a Russian accent, but whatever's that thing. Now you got me thinking that all word bearers sound fucking Italian.
Henceforth, all word bearers are just the Fonz.
Fucking Lorgar is like, hey, Big E, I made a church for ya. You know, they're gonna kill people, they don't believe in you. Hey,
why you burning down my church? Hey,
hey, no, Macarius? Hey, Monarchia, no, Gilliman, why you making me stand here? You fucking bitch, I kill you.
Oof, man.
Anyway.
This took a weird turn.
What? Gilliman was standing there when he had all the dudes kneel before the Emperor, remember?
Yeah, but somehow us doing the Fonz for the word bearers as they're getting everything they love burnt to the ground. It's a weird turn from Abaddon.
I'm imagining Lorgar on his knees with like his hands out like Platoon, but instead of in front of Monarchia, it's just like a Little Caesars on fire.
Oh,
it's like no. Actually, that's not fair. Any Italian would hate Little Caesars, but
yeah. Well, I mean, any connoisseur of pizza or anything that's remotely pizza related should hate Little Caesars. I mean,
so long as they can afford really good pizza, because if I'm ever on a money crunch, Little Caesars the place.
Fair, I'll give you that.
All right, perfect. So now we know that Lorgar is the Fonz and the word bearers are Italian. Continuing from there. Shit. Where were we? Right, they're finding Horus. No, yes. They're finding Abaddon. Horus is gone.
Yeah, Horus is gone. You can't find him.
So basically, they eventually use this word bearer psychic ability and all of his like A's to go ahead and find out where Abaddon was located. However, the Thousand Sun sorcerer kind of peered into his mind, because psychers do that, and was like, I can't read anything else about his mind. There's like protective wards in there. Like in his brain. What the fuck? Oh. And then immediately after that, all the Emperor's Children fleet arrived and was like, hey, oh wait, no, that's sorry. That's word bearers.
Hey, but
it's like they came in and they were like, oh hey, what's up? We're gonna kill you now, cause fuck you.
Oh no.
So they only escaped barely by the Chaos Sorcerer, like creating like a teleportation thing and just bailing. But they made their way out, and they had this long little journey going through all these places called the Radiant Worlds. They cut through an Eldar webway through the warp and made their way through. And the Radiant Worlds were a bunch of worlds that are kind of like on the edge of the Eye of Terror that spills into the real world near Cadia, which we'll definitely talk about soon. But yeah. With time, they kept on searching, and I'm saving a lot of like exposition here. But long story short, after enough time of searching, they found the Vengeful Spirits, and they found Abaddon. They found good old Kyle. Kyle.
Issa Kyle.
Okay, I can't. I'm making a bunch of Among Us memes. I guess I can't really be upset if you make a stupid ass thing. A stupid ass fucking anime.
Issa Kyle, yep.
But Abaddon explained that he was actually the one who sent that word bearer to them. And he was the person who programmed the mind blocks and such, because he, after doing a lot of thinking, a lot of time, he thought to himself, okay, we are no longer the name of our former legions. We are no longer the sons of our former fathers. Mm-hmm. You take a look at all of us, and the three of you that came to me, a word bearer Psyker, a member of I think it was the Black Legion. I forget what the phallus guy was, but a sorcerer of the Thousand Suns and a captain of the World Eaters, men from different legions working together for a common cause. We are no longer our bloodlines. And as they all tend to go and squabble, our job is to now forge our own destiny and create our own group.
Ooh, that's cool, actually. I like that.
So that was his concept. It's like, at the moment, with the legions near extinction, all these problems happening, he thought that he sought warriors that wanted to be more than the legacies of diminished legions, and it's like this group. It's a brotherhood for the brotherless.
Ooh,
that was the idea.
That's a cool concept. I like that very much.
And so all 9 traitor legions would be accepted under one new banner. And can you guess what that banner was?
Is that like the Black Legion?
It's the Black Legion.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So they were all accepted under the single homogenous banner of the Black Legion. And then after they kind of started creating this, I don't know, pact or whatever, or started coming together, Abaddon also knew that Horus could never walk again, could never live again, even if the Emperor's children were able to resurrect the bastard. Mm-hmm. Because not only because of whatever fuckery they were going to get off into, but also the demons themselves of the warp said Horus's name in mockery, because he died of shame and failure.
Yep.
And
just like the concept of what they're trying to do is like, you don't want Horus to come back because like that's all gone. Like you don't want to be. They want to make their own new thing. They want to make their own new legacy. They don't want the old guard coming back and like, oh yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna be ruler again, even though you guys have pledged yourself to not care about, the previous leaders or whatever.
Yeah, old Primarchs. Like, why would you want Horus to come back, bring a shackle back to free hands?
Yeah. So I now I kind of get why Abaddon was like, hey, yo, let's go make sure that Horus clone is fucking dead.
Yes, and so that's what they did, is they went with their newly founded legion to fight the Emperor's children on their homeworld of Harmony. Ironic that the Emperor's Legion's homeworld is called Harmony.
I know. Is that another sick joke, because it's just like there's no harmony there at all?
I actually don't know. It is in the warp, so that definitely has a concept that it might not be that great. But I actually, we haven't covered the Emperor's Children yet, so I'd have to figure out. But the Emperor's Children are a bunch of really sick fucks who like a quick fuck.
Hey.
I actually don't know that song, but my buddy Demeki won't stop singing it. So, and in reality, it works. Because the Emperor's Children are in fact sick fucks that like a quick fuck. They're smash based.
Yeah. Good for them. Bright pink armor, love a quick fuck. All right, let's go.
It's perfect. So there was a large fight over in the Emperor's Children area. It was called the what was the name of the big city? It was like what was the name of the big city? It's like a really, really big named city that they fought in.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, I know. I'm asking myself. Canticle City. There it is. Canticle City. Anyway, I'm skimming through this stuff a lot because this is like an hour and a half long episode of all these specific battles. But the long and short of it is they fight through the Emperor's Children's stuff. They fight through the Emperor's Children's city. They arrive at the, I don't know, gene factory or whatever Fabius's Biles fuckery got up to.
Yeah.
And right there in it, Rose motherfucking Horus rebuilt.
But they couldn't have built him like back perfectly. Like he's got to be like a significantly weaker, altered version of Horus, right?
I think maybe a little, because in the events that followed afterwards, he's still particularly strong, but he's obviously not the same soul. But he emerged there with a gigantic maul, which was a gift that was made from the Emperor to Horus because they stole the damn thing when he became the War Master. And the first thing he did was beat the absolute shit out of all of the guys in the room. Like, even on the wiki, it says this was not a child cloned from scraps of tissue and drops of blood, nor an abomination half lost to mutation's touch. It was Horus Lupercal, cloned from dead flesh harvested directly from his stasis-preserved corpse. Clad in the breathtaking black war plate stripped from his dead body, replete with the long fall of his white wolf fur cloak, and the pale shimmer of kinetic force protecting him like a halo. Like, Horus reborn, like pretty goddamn close to the man.
Damn. Yeah, I just figure whenever there's a cloning situation, like, oh yeah, it's going to be like a mindless, brainless version, and it's not going to be anywhere near as strong, and it's going to be like a pseudo-zombie.
No, he was full-on crazy-ass Horus, except very angry. In fact, he was going mad. He started beating the shit out of that one Thousand Sun Sorcerer with his maul. Almost killed him, but didn't. He's alive.
Poor Thousand Suns. They just can't catch a break.
They really can't. But Abaddon stood behind Horus, and he just said one word. Good old Abaddon was like, enough. And all he did, Horus swung around, and then Abaddon took with the talon of Horus, caught the fucking mace in air, and gripped it. And then with Horus looking at it, he spoke to Abaddon for the first time, and he said specifically, like, that is my talon. Right there.
Oh, did he?
And Abaddon closed his giant fist and smashed the maul into pieces. Ooh. And then after they fought a decent amount or whatever, Horus eventually, like, recognition caught him, and then he was like, Ezekiel. It's like, my son. It's like, that's my son. And as he said that, Abaddon took the claws and he shoved it right through Horus's chest.
Oh.
And a giant fucking computer-sized hole.
Wow.
And then he shot the Stormbolter in the actual talon itself, burying 6 shots into his exposed neck and chest and blasted him apart from the inside. And then as he pulled his talon out, he just said, I am not your son.
Damn. Shit. So, I'm curious if that recognition wasn't there and didn't give Abaddon that that moment of like a weakness, or I guess it gave Horus that moment of weakness. Like, was Abaddon actually stronger than Horus? Would Abaddon have won regardless?
I'm not quite sure. Obviously, this wasn't the Horus.
Yeah, he's obviously cloned, and he's not of his right mind, really. He's in, like, a rage, so... But, I mean, obviously, Abaddon's still very competent in a fight.
No, he is without a doubt extremely competent. I'm assuming that... I mean, he still had lots of other people there, but he is still horrendously formidable as a person. I'm not sure he's Horus level, but regardless, maybe that single bit of... hesitation allowed him to strike the killing blow.
Yeah,
not quite sure. Honestly, it's not really the point. The main
it doesn't
point,
matter really. It's
the main point is like is like Horus is now dead.
Yeah, he is
very dead.
No coming back from that one.
No, and also it was a big thing of defiance for Abaddon, where he's like, Horus, like I do not deem you as a father anymore. Like I am above you. I am better than you. And quote unquote, Horus was weak. Horus was a fool. He had the whole galaxy within his grasp, and he let it slip away. The quote from Abaddon the Despoiler. So from there, Abaddon, newly pronounced War Master, new leader of the Black Legion, a group that welcomes all who wish to join its ranks and welcomes all other groups to join its ranks. And he then, from there, began doing what Chaos does best, which is be a real pain in the ass to the Imperium.
It's crazy. So far, Abaddon sounds really dope, and he sounds really cool, and like it sounds like he is an absolute motherfucker. Like he will mess you up. It doesn't matter if you're Horus or whatever. Which is why it's so very surprising, looking back, that the memes are all about, he's a fucking loser, he's an armless loser, he's a fucking idiot. And it's like, wait, what? That's this guy?
I think the issue were the Crusades, because I can't really talk enough about the actual other 12 Black Crusades. Mm-hmm. But obviously the 13th Black Crusade is the fall of Cadia.
Right.
And that's the big one. That's the big, like, whoa. But I think the issue is that in so many, like, novels and fights and lore, Abaddon always loses because it's like the big bad guy.
Yeah,
it's like a superhero villain. Like, he has to constantly lose. And unless you've got another way to make him cool, like, I don't know, the Joker. Joker's, like, loses because Batman has to win, whatever, but he's still a pretty cool fucking character.
Yeah.
So even so, there's still all that kind of stuff you have to like figure out.
Gotcha.
And yeah, Shai makes a good point. They call it the Long War for a reason. You don't topple the Imperium in a day, which is very, very true.
Yeah.
But it's Abaddon, like I said, in a sense, like, yeah, he's lost a lot, but in a weird way, you could almost kind of take that suspension of disbelief that it's more like Games Workshop's fault, which obviously doesn't make any sense because they write his damn stories. But regardless, Abaddon is pretty fucking cool. I think a lot of people might think that he's a little bit like generic because he's just big classic chaos guy. Mm-hmm. Where it's similar to Marnius Calgar or Gilliman of the Ultramarines. He's like that the basic version of the Chaos. But honestly, he's pretty cool. I mean, I think that people like Typhus are cooler. Mm-hmm. But even so, he's still neat.
I guess I could see like people thinking he was also like just a generic villain, because like, I mean, Megatron, super cool. Everybody loves Megatron, but literally all he does is lose. That's it. Like, he's super strong, and he's super great, super awesome commander, but, like, all he does is lose to Optimus over and over and over again.
Yeah, it makes plenty of sense with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Now, for the actual Black Crusades themselves, we're probably not going to talk a heavy amount on them, because, they all have their own specific thing, but they date back. They date back. Like, the first Black Crusade was in M31.
Oh, yeah, back.
So that's like a couple hundred years after the heresy.
Yeah.
Like they go back a bit. And that one was the first Battle of Cadia, which he obviously failed. Mm-hmm. Which is, that sucks.
He lost. Okay.
He lost that one, but he did claim a really cool demon sword called the Drachen.
Gesundheit? Like what?
I don't know. It's in his model. He has a sword and the talon. It's the sword.
Oh, his mini is very cool looking. Shai just posted a picture of it. That is slick. That thing's arms are always falling off. Apparently.
Other mini, old mini.
Oh! I guess Shai showed like a new one.
Correct.
Boy, that's a sick mini, dude.
It is really, really cool. And the sword he's wearing, called the is the name of it's a powerful demon that's been known as many names in the history of mankind. Echo of the first murder, end of Emoris, whatever.
Echo of the first murder?
Yep. Although
Nice.
its existence is closely linked to the shedding of blood, it has no ties to the blood god, being powerful enough to be an independent chaos entity, which is pretty rare.
Whoa.
It says it can rend reality apart where the weapon strikes, rip through armor, flesh, and bone without resistance. The demonic spirit animating this fell weapon can alter the blade's appearance, revealing the skulls and faces of the souls it has devoured.
Whoa.
So if you look at the actual blade, you can see it has like little like cartoon faces on it, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's got like legitimate faces like howling in the blade itself. Here's a better picture of it.
God, that's a sword.
That's
Holy
a fucking sword.
That is a chaos sword. How do you lose when you have something like that? Other than just GW being like, you're the villain, you lose.
Well, numbers, or someone hits him with a train. I don't know.
I don't even think a train. Like, he could just
okay.
slice the train in half.
Okay, they exterminatus him or something. I don't fucking know.
Cool.
I mean, there's always some way to lose.
Also, is that an ultramarine that he's crocheting under his feet?
It is.
Nice.
Do you like Abaddon more now?
Oh, I like him a lot more now. What a guy.
Those poor Ultramarine fans. Now the second Black Crusade is kind of neat, only because the name is funny. It's called the Cursing of Corona, which I find fucking hilarious.
So ironic.
It's a dead world located near the Eye of Terror. Basically.
Oh, no. I don't like the sound of that. That's
well, regardless, there's a lot of these. He invokes a curse that sinks to the core of the world. The third Black Crusade was the host of Toloman, desecration of Gersthal. He destroys the remains of Saint Gersthal, which was an imperial saint that died defending the Cadian Gate after the first centuries of the Horus Heresy. And he destroyed their remains, which was obviously like a big faithful blow,
Right.
Then the fourth Black Crusade was the devastation of Elfanor, the death of Cromark, which was the grand citadel of Cromark.
So it sounds like some of these crusades he's actually succeeding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's a lot. It's like the context is the fact that he's destroying a bunch of shit, but it might not always be the thing he wanted to get done.
Oh, okay.
Now, granted, as Shai put, she said it was a prophecy that Saint was going to stop Abby, so Abby said fuck that and erased his ass from existence. So that let's not forget that chaos is a bit petty at times. At the best of times, chaos can be a bit petty, but then again, so is the Imperium.
Yeah.
There was the fifth one was the Tide of Blood, which was the scouring of Elysia, which allows him to summon a demon prince and destroy a bunch of chapters. A bunch of successor chapters of Space Marines, which was nuts.
Yep.
Sixth one was Drekharth's Folly, which had him bring the Sons of an Eye, which was a warband of Horus. He had them taken up, merged them into the Black Legion.
Okay.
The Ghost War was number 7. Which he claimed the gene seed of the Blood Angels that were slaughtered at a Macan. 8 was the Skull Gatherer. He appeased the Changer of Ways, which was Zeech, with sequences of death, creating a mathematical equation of terrible and profane perfection. These are all the shortened versions. These are fucking weird. He just made Zeech happy.
Okay. I mean, it's a good thing to do. You don't want him coming after you.
No. The 9th one was the Starving of Kencephalus. Chaos fleets leave the Eye of Terror undetected during a massacre. The 10th one was the Conflict of Helicia, or Helica, which is Abaddon the Iron Warriors fight the Iron Hands on their home planet. I think they try to take their home planet of Medusa, the Iron Hands one, and I think they fail. Because I'm pretty sure the Iron Hands still have it. But yeah, they did fail in that one. It still stood, but he learned much about the defenses of the Iron Hands, which he'll put into good use later on.
Okay.
And then the 11th was the Doom of Reloria, where he abducts thousands of orcs to conduct experiments on their use in the warp, which is hilarious. Well, I'm curious, was that how he got? Is that the one where he got that one dude in Korn's realm?
Oh, is the one that's just always stuck there and is just
I don't think it's
over and over again because
I don't think it's that one. I don't think it's that one.
Okay.
Damn it. No, he dealt with an orc Wa under the name of Murgor Undread Teeth.
Very orc.
I love orc names. They're very easy. And then the big 12th Crusade was the Gothic War. And that one's a lot more recent and a lot more important. Okay. This is a much larger war, a much bigger one. They fought the Imperium of Men, of course, but also some Eldar. They had a bunch of major naval battles, but the big one was his ability to gain something known as a Blackstone Fortress.
Oh, what do go on?
So there are many Blackstone Fortresses, and Blackstone Fortresses are not necessarily known where they've come from. Some deem that they might be the old ones who made them. It's not Necron based, but it's something. And these are just massive starships, enormous starships. The only people that have starships larger are the Imperial Fists because they're stupid.
Because they're dumb enough to build something that big and unnecessary.
Because they'd rather pilot meteors. But
wait, so where do these Blackstone fortresses come? Like, where did he find it? And like,
they're just there.
They just exist, and he just happened to stumble on one.
So they're like out and about in the galaxy. Mm-hmm. There's no real like ifs, ands, or buts. Sometimes they were used by the ones that the Imperium found were used as bases, naval bases. But some of them were either destroyed by chaos. But the main thing is the fact that the giant gun in the center of its rotating pylon is enough to like clean a fucking planet.
Oh, is that like an Exterminatus type of deal?
It's like worse. It's basically a Death Star weapon. Like instead of Exterminatus, which will crack the planet's core or like virus bomb it, this will like turn like they did with the Death Star in Star Wars. Like it'll turn into fucking atoms.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just gone.
Jeez, and so Abaddon has one of these now.
He does.
Oh boy, that's no good.
No, if I'm not mistaken, he was able to capture and activate 6 of them. He was able to succeed in taking 3. But he was defeated by the combined might of both the Imperium and the Eldar working together.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal. Like he it took the Imperium and the Eldar to stop him.
I mean, Blackstone Fortresses, man.
Yeah, that's true. But God, that's such a big deal.
Oh yeah, they had to work together, which is scary. It won't be the first time they've worked together though, and it won't be the last. But after enough time of their fighting and stuff, after the Imperium tried to recapture them, one of the fortresses, it self-destructed later. And then they were eventually able to capture a couple more, but Abaddon retreated with 2. He was able to take 2 of them and take them back to the Eye of Terror.
That's still pretty good.
Yes.
That's still pretty nice. Pretty nice to have 2 of those fucking behemoths at your beck and call. That's not bad. Not bad.
No, not bad at all. One of the fortresses was actually, I believe, gifted to a man named Huron Blackheart, which is quite the name.
Yeah.
I don't really remember where it went, but I think it was an assistance to help free Gilliman later on. But I know where the other one named Will of Eternity went, but we need to discuss that in the Fall of Cadia episode, because that Blackstone Fortress does have a big role in the Fall of Cadia.
You're gonna blue ball us like that?
A little bit, because that's the big prelude, is that Cadia is the 13th Black Crusade, the most recent one, and the biggest part of the lore, or like one of the major biggest like things of the lore that's happened recently, and it is quite quite an endeavor.
Okay, I guess.
I
guess we can wait till next time to talk about that. I guess. If you're gonna be all like that about it, I guess.
I'm gonna be all like that about it.
Gee whiz, John, I don't want to hear about the fall of Cadia now.
Yeah, I know you do, but the fall of Cadia has to wait because the fall of Cadia is important.
Fine. God. Dad.
Jeez, Abaddon, how come the Chaos Gods let you have 2 Blackstone fortresses?
So, one last thing. So the Black Legion accepts anybody from any Chaos faction, right?
I mean, anybody. I mean, you know, don't be too rough, but yeah, they basically are like all come, all welcome. If you like, you do not serve the War Master, you serve by his side.
Right.
It's the idea of like you're not going to be an underling, you are a fellow soldier.
Right. Do you ever think Chaos is going to work together again like they did in like the Horus Heresy, where they were actually all on the same page? Because it sounds kind of like the Black Legion maybe one day could sort of become that, where like you got Thousand Sons, you got Word Bearers.
Yes-ish. Now, if you mean the Chaos Gods, no.
Oh yeah, Chaos Gods probably not. But like all the different, like, I guess, traitor legions, I guess is the better way to put it.
Yes, they will, and they did. And they did in this thing called the Fall of Cadia.
Oh man, it's all the next episode. God!
It looks like it is. Yes, it will be a thing soon. They kind of did work together in the next one. I think Typhus is part of it, actually.
Ooh, stinky boy.
There's a lot. You've got, like, Lord Castellan Creed. You've got Saint Celestine. You've got Belisarius Call, Typhus, Trazen the Infinite.
What? Oh,
Trazen is a part of the Fall of Cadia. He plays a big fucking role, actually.
Our book club boy. Let's go.
Yvrain of the Eldar, Gilliman. It's literally Avengers Endgame, and it's just as good in the sense of it's not great, but it's good enough. It's got problems, but it's good.
Yeah, because in my head, I was just like, man, why doesn't Chaos work together more? Like, they almost had the Imperium. Why don't they work together again? Why don't they, like, bolster their forces and do it again? If at first you don't succeed, try again.
Because the Chaos Gods are jealous pricks.
As we are learning.
Yes, and while a lot of the Chaos Gods a lot of the Space Marine legions don't accept the help of the Chaos Gods, because there's 5. And out of the 5, I think only 4 of them have sworn allegiance. Because Emperor's Children, Death Guard, Thousand Sons, and World Eaters sworn to a god. But Black Legion, Night Lords, Word Bearers, I'm missing a couple. Which ones am I missing, Shy? I know I'm missing 2. Word Bearers. Oh, Iron Warriors.
I'm not sure why. I always thought the Word Bearers became the World Eaters. I guess because they both have, like, World Eater, World Bear.
No, they're Word Bearer.
Right. I don't know why, but I thought the Word Bearers became the World Eaters. But I guess the World Eaters are, like, they're Khorne, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm so upset I'm forgetting the last one.
And the Word Bearers are Lorgar. No.
Yes. Word Bearers are Lorgar. World Eaters are Angron.
Gotcha.
Fuck.
I'm so Angron.
Fucking hell, wait. Black Legion, Night Lords, Iron Warriors, Word Bearers. Who am I missing? Some guy is thousand. No, that's Zinch. That's Zinch.
Whatever.
I'm talking about the non-specific.
Oh, gotcha. I just wanted to get the Thousand Sons in there.
Some guy is so angry right now that his Legion is not being represented. Okay, factions, Chaos Space Marines, Legion.
We can't end until he gets this, guys. He has to.
Alpha Legion, you fucking dingus, Bricky. They're so secretive. You forgot about the Alpha Legion.
They're too secretive.
They're too smart.
Secretive. Jesus, they're the Hydras, right?
They're Hydras. Yeah, they're the cool Hydras.
Gotcha. Yeah.
No,
they have such sick minis too. God.
Damn it! Of course, that's fucking funny. That the Alpha Legion were the ones that might not even be Chaos. We don't fucking know anymore.
Really? They might not even be Chaos?
There's a long-running idea that the Alpha Legion aren't actually Chaos, but they're pretending to be Chaos as a giant ruse to actually be loyal to the Imperium.
Oh, man, I'd love an Alpha Legion episode, as I'm sure.
No, I'm not ready.
Well, no, not yet, obviously, because we still have the fall of Cadia, and I'm sure there are a bunch of topics after that we want to cover first. Like, don't worry.
I'm too scared for the Alpha Legion.
Eventually, as we move on, we'll get you comfortable with it, all right? As I get more knowledgeable and you get more, we'll get there. One day.
Fear.
One day. But you wanna take us home, or do we have anything more to announce, discuss? Anything like that?
I don't think so. We made our Patreon discussions. We mentioned book club, new merch,
Stickers.
Stickers coming out soon. If you want some Adeptus Ridiculous merch, obviously we mentioned earlier, check out the description. Of course, you know, at the moment we're doing all right on amounts. I wanted to actually do a maroon long sleeve that's Omnissiah based. As like a long sleeve dark like red color, because that works good with the with text and all that stuff. I might do that at some point, but that might take some time. So
yeah, that's like Tech Priest robe color, right?
That was the
red.
Ooh, yeah, I thought it'd be pretty cool. We'll see, but we'll see. Anyway, my name's been Bricky. Thanks so much for watching the podcast episode. Next week we got the Fall of Cadia for you. Get it hyped, get excited.
Whoop, whoop.
DK, where can they find you?
Everywhere DK Diamantes, except on Instagram at Real DK Diamantes, until I just buy Instagram and turn every username into DK Diamantes.
And then of course we got Quiet Shy or Quite Shallow, who is also quite sus. You can find her at Quite Sus on Twitter or Quite Sus on
Why?
Amogus.
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 My God.
I'm turning the recording off.
Cut it.